your question in the chat, please let me just a few minutes for waiting other members of our group. If you could connect with them, please share this link. Maybe they used another one or any old one, and because there are just 7 persons in our conference, it's too small numbers. So please share your screen and prepare your presentation. Today is only one. Today is for only one presentation about labor and service, and we will have debates with 2 teams: financial platforms and social networks. Please share this link if you could with your colleagues, and we wait just for a few minutes for the other team members. Or if you know that the other team members are not available today, please let me know and we will start right now. For someone else, let's get started with our presentation, and other 2 teams, social networks and financial services, please prepare your question. Don't forget that you will have only 3 questions, and the final score depends on the quality of your question. So we will see your presentation. Let's get started.
Okay, our team prepared the presentation about HeadHunter, and we'll start with the business model of HeadHunter. As you can see, they have some partners like EV or People and Screens or Gazprom as their partners. As key activities, what they do actually, they do job posting and do some research activities in employment sphere. As resources they use an information resource, and they use skills of their employees and their brand of HeadHunter. So main propositions are convenience, good design of the app and the website, and large number of vacancies and workers in the job search. So as I mentioned, the main channels are website and the mobile app. So as customers, we can see employers like companies, individual entrepreneurs, and employees that want to find work. What they spend their money and their revenue for? They spend it for purchases, for the workers that work on their website, etc., and expenses on IPO. The main revenue stream is job posting, of course. Now something about value creation. The platform is web-based, and they have their mobile app. The activity is data services. Price discovery, they have fixed prices on their services, like advertisement or some statistics. And review system is user reviews, so users use their app and send them some feedback on it. Main revenue streams are subscriptions that exists on their site, and some service sales. They have, as I mentioned, fixed pricing. So for each service, they have a fixed price for any company or any employee. From this, we can say that they have same rates for everyone, so they don't have price discrimination. Okay. As for value delivery, the transaction main content is a product and service. As we can see, they are B2C platform, and we can say that their graphical scope is global. Now about rules and regulations. The main rule in Russia that they must follow is law of consumer protection. As I remember, the main act was declared in 2017 about online platforms, especially B2C platforms. But there was nothing about using the private data of employees and companies. So everything about it is going to Roskomnadzor that up to nowadays create some rules and regulation of the usage of private data. And they have some internal regulation like terms of use, license agreement, and privacy policy. In privacy policy, they describe how they use our private data according to law. And other regulate some social rules and rights and obligations of users that are using their platform. Now let's talk about social effects of platforms, especially of HeadHunter, and some positive points. Enhance of supply services is the first. They improve productivity of using assets. They reduce costs because everything that they have on their platform is rather cheap. Reduce efficiencies in existing markets, like we have our employment services and some actions that are happening there can be very slow, and on HeadHunter we can do it much more fast and efficient. And they increase flexibility and labor market accessibility for workers because they have a huge base on vacancies which workers can see. And then social effects of platforms that are maybe negative. Platforms, especially HeadHunter, can increase inequality between as employers so employees. Excessive use of platforms can be psychologically damaging, and they contribute technological employment. I think that's all.
Okay, great. Thank you. I hope that it would be a lot of question because when I have heard you, I wrote 4 questions, and I hope that we will match with the team's financial and social networks in them. So, financial services, are you ready with your question? And if yes, let's get started. 3.
Hello, everyone. Yes, we
Steven
have
question.
some questions. Thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting, honestly. Our group has only 3 questions. Why do you think geographic scope is global in HeadHunter, in case of HeadHunter?
Sorry, I have turned on the microphone. We think that it's not global because it covers all, that is global, because it covers not only Russia, but also CIS countries, but it's not international, so we don't cover like Europe or more. It covers only several, maybe 4 or 5 countries.
Okay, I see. The second question is what is the competition among employees for vacancy? I mean, in general, like maybe average number, for example. I don't want to know the scope of customers there and how they interact in this platform.
Yes. As I remember, on their website, there is an information that there is around 800,000 vacancies, and they have around 52 million employers. But in their statistic, they say that they have average 5 resumes for one place.
Okay. So I see the scale of this company. As far as we know, the Russian economy is now decline. So if there decrease in the number of vacancies on the site, and in connection with this activity in Russia.
On the website, maybe I can see something right now. Yes, they say that right now number of vacancies is growing rather high, rather fast, for 10% for the last month, but the number of resumes decreases for 4% right now.
Oh, okay. And what is the reason for this decline? What do you see?
I think that number of vacancies grows because now is post-quarantine period, and maybe some services and companies are interested in searching for new employers.
Okay. Actually, this is all.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Team number 2, social networks. Are you ready?
Oh, yes, we are ready.
Social platforms, sorry. Yeah.
I will ask a first question. How does the platform handle the issues related to scammers? For example, the internet describes cases where companies on the platform offered vacancies and promised high wages, but only after completing training, the cost of which is also quite high. After several lectures, the company stopped communicating, so people lost their savings and didn't get the promised job. How can the platform deal with such a problem? We also typed the question in the chat.
As I understood you, you talk about the situation that can only be moderated by some people, some live moderators, and they, as I know, exist on HeadHunter. So I think that HeadHunter use them to decrease the number of these companies.
I think that the issue is more wide. It is general about that is HeadHunter responsible for the quality of the content, of the quality of vacancies, and on the quality of the further jobs inside the company, or it is not responsible. And if HeadHunter could make any moderations or being responsible for long term, how could it work? Maybe you could think about any scheme. We are open for all your offers, and please think about it right now, because it is a wide question and nobody knows the right answer. I'm sure. Yeah, is HeadHunter responsible for the quality of the vacancies, for the quality of the content, and for the quality of the further job?
I think that they are not fully responsible for all vacancies they represent according to the internal regulations, but they're interested to minimize this bad number of not effective vacancies. So they're interested in it, and they moderate it, but they don't take all responsibility.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you, social platforms, for your question, because it is very wide and very interesting. And generally the issue of this issue depends on the market share, and I think that the Headhunter is generally is a very sad story about a very high market share, about the monopoly in this area, and about that the monopolies doesn't makes the service better, doesn't think about the quality of the content if we're talking about the digital platforms. I don't know, maybe someone has an experience in searching any jobs in the other countries, but Russia is absolutely unique country because there is only Headhunter here, and all other platforms are very weak, and they don't work really. But Headhunter is only the one platform. If we are looking for the other countries, there are a lot of platforms in different directions, and they work on a very competitive market. It means that they are responsible for making their content, their offers, their moderation process more and more harder and more make it better for the customers, for the ultimate customers. But Headhunter doesn't make it, and of course it depends to decreasing the number of the loyalty of the customers. For example, a lot of professional headhunters who works as human resource managers now works on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or on the other platforms, but don't use the Headhunter at all because the quality of the content, I'm talking not only about the vacancies, I'm talking about the candidates. The quality of the content is very bad, and it is the problem of monopoly generally in the digital sphere, and nobody researched. No, of course, a lot of people researched this area, but there is no regulation process because it's absolutely new area. How to regulate this platform and the monopoly generally in the digital area? It is a really very right question, very interesting. But we are going to the second question of the team number 2. Please, you're welcome.
Yeah, the next question is mine. In your presentation, you noted the absence of price discrimination. What preventive measures are used by the platform to combat this phenomenon, and how can this factor negatively affect the operation of the platform as a whole? And thank you for the presentation, of course.
I think that on HeadHunt, there are rather low prices for their service. I checked some of the rules and they said that they are low. So I can say that for some companies, these low prices are very low, and they effectively use HeadHunter. And other small companies maybe can't use it because they will spend like much more money in percentage, and they would better use something else, maybe employment service. But as HeadHunter position itself as cheap service, I think that there is more profit for everybody than harm from it.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And our last question is, in the presentation, you didn't mention anything about traditional analogs of HeadHunter. What traditional companies perform similar functions as HeadHunter in your opinion, and what is the main advantage of the platform over them?
I didn't catch what you mean in traditional companies. So we have labor service, we have HeadHunter as the leader of employment service in Russia. And what you think about traditional? What is traditional?
I'm going to help for the team number 2. What's the way to find a job? What was the way to find a job before the area of digitalization? Not in, no, yeah, in Russian, for example. If you have no job, but you are going to find it, and there is no internet, there is no platforms, there is no headhunter, what should you do to find any job? And how traditional economy works in this circumstances, and what is the parents of the headhunter in traditional economy?
As I can remember, traditionally work and offers for work were spreading through newspapers, maybe on TV, I don't really know. And there was labor service in 20th century, I think it already was. So I think there was like labor service and there were newspapers. Maybe there were some relationships through what some people could find some work for them, etc.
Okay, thank you. Of course, it means that the flexibility of our economy is quite better than before, and the flexibility of labor services, first of all. Okay, thank you very much for your presentation, for your question. The honest questions of the second team are quite better, and of course, I will note it in the final scores. Thank you very much, social networks. Team number 1, financial services. You should be better, and I hope that you will show your best the next presentation. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any question, please let me know. If you don't have, see you again next week on the 2 seminars, 2 presentations, a lot of questions. Thank you very much.
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe I have missed it, but I would like to know about the scores for first presentation.
That was on the 3rd.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There is no scores. I discussed this issue with Ivan Dmitrievich, but he decided that you will have only the final score. Of course, you have an intermediate result in my sheets, and all your presentation. I make scores for all your presentation, for all the question, but your final result I will show just only in the end of our lesson through the 2 weeks.
Okay, and I have one personal question. If you don't mind, please give me 5 minutes, and I would like to ask.
Yeah, of course.
Personally.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna wait.
This section.
So, what is happening now?
Nothing. This is the end of the lesson. And we're waiting for Selbek with his question. If you have anything to ask me, please ask. If you don't have, see you again on the next week.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I have a question. Could you remind what is time limit for presentation?
No more than 15 or 20 minutes. There is the flexible time limit. To be honest, it's true, because if you have to say something really interesting, of course I let you do this. But if you don't have any interesting facts and your conclusions, and you will make your presentation longer than 15 minutes, of course it will be bad for our lesson, and I will ask you to decrease your time limits. So normally think about 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.